Happy about tonight. Let this music roll. All right. Listen, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. And y'all know I got to do it because I missed it last week while I was gone. So real quick, if you're glad it's Monday, let me hear you make some noise. Yeah, like Mondays are those days where it's just like, for most people, it's the beginning of the week. I feel like for me, every day is Monday. But Monday is that day, I found out a few years ago, just listening to Les Brown. Les Brown said that the number one day in the week that most people in the U.S. have a heart attack is on a Monday. It's because they dread what they have to do. So many people are doing things week after week that they don't even enjoy doing, and it just pays the bills. But we want to fight against that. We want to change that. We want to help people believe in self every week, every single week. So that is why motivation exists. I am Jeremy Tutt. I'm the host, one of the hosts, Motivation Monday. We are many. We are many and growing. And I'm excited to be here. Just in case nobody does know, franchisee, happy about that. Real estate investor, happy about that. Father, happy about that. Husband, happy about that. And one of the hosts for Motivation Monday, super happy about that. And everything else, too, that I missed today. But really quick, I just want to give out a couple shout-outs. I don't want to miss people at all, but I do want to give out a couple shout-outs. And that first one is everybody that's here tonight and everybody that's watching online on the streaming platform. I appreciate y'all. Second person that I would like to thank is the one and only, the great Victoria, owner of Downtown Social, this beautiful space that y'all see behind me and the space that you can't see in front of me. Just Google or search Downtown Social on your phones, on your laptops, or whatever it is that you use to search. Everybody uses Google, so just Google it, and you'll find more information on that. I also want to thank my wife for pushing as heavy as she does. I'll give a major shout out to Derek Strode, who hosted last week's event. And man, did this man have some content. I was driving my car, and a few times I just had to pull over to say, did he just say that? And I was taking notes and commenting. So if you're on live tonight, definitely share some comments. We want to see those. If you got questions, definitely ask them. We want to answer those. Now, we got to give a shout out to also Turn Creatives for this freaking digital clear. Listen, I didn't know I looked so good. I know I look good on their camera tonight. So I know it got to do with some magic that they working back there. So I appreciate Turn Creatives. Anybody that needs any sort of videography work done, or video work done, please reach out to Turn Creators. We'll make sure y'all have that information moving forward. And I hope I didn't miss any major thank yous. I also see Matt in the house tonight. Matt Ward, Real Estate. Appreciate you for coming. We got to interview Matt a few weeks ago, and it was an amazing interview on strong foundation. We got to deal a lot with mind, body, and soul. And major shout out to Keith, who always there. I appreciate him too. But listen, y'all, tonight we're gonna have a good night. But it's I always like to start this thing a certain specific way. So before we go any further, it has been said that when we think of our vision, we should think of it often. And when we do think of our vision, we should immediately think of an action that we can commit directly afterwards that's going to get us one step closer to that vision. The sad part is, most of the time when people think about visions, they think about them for a brief moment. They have a fun time thinking about it, and then they go back to their regular lifestyle. I don't know if anybody knows the definition of insanity, but it says you do the same thing over and over, expecting different results. The mind is powerful, but it's not as powerful as it can be with actionable items. So for about 20 seconds here in a few minutes, what I want to do, and y'all see me pulling my phone out, I got notes there, it's all right. But in about 20 seconds, what I want to do is I want us to have a 20-second vision board, right? We do this every show. We have a 20-second vision board. And during that time, what we do is we think about our visions. We think about our future. We think about where we want to be at. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. You can close your eyes, and this is how we're going to do it. I want everybody, even if you're streaming, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. But if you're not driving and you're not controlling anything, I want everybody for a few moments to close your eyes. And I want you to think about your future. I want you to think about what type of experiences you have in the future. I want you to vision everything that you've worked so hard for, and I want you to see it in fruition. If it's a private jet, then see yourself walking onto your plane. If it's a custom-built house that you've always wanted on 200 acres, vision the pond or however many ponds you may have. If it's having livestock on that acreage, I want you to see the livestock running in the fields. I want you to see what does your family feel like? How do you spend your free time when you've worked so hard for everything that you've worked for and you've finally gotten it? You've gotten what you've worked hard for. I know most of us are go-getters and we probably want to keep going, but how would you take a break to celebrate your wins? How would you do that? All right? And if you're really happy about your future, then I always say it should make you smile. It should make you excited inside. So I want you to really think about it. Think about what could come from it. Think about the people that it's helping and benefiting, and come back. All right. Did anybody get a clearer picture of their future? Yeah. It's something that we have to consistently do to get a clear thought of. It's like GTA. The map is great until you drive there. And once you drive there and it clears a map, then you can actually drive around the streets and you can see what's on the streets. But until you actually drive to that location on the map, you never even know what's there. And that's what unlocking our vision is. And we have to use that exercise. And I try my best to do it daily. For me, I'll go ahead and tell on myself for a minute. Private jets, that's my thing, man. That's my thing. I love them. I love the way they look. I love the way they sound. I love the way they move. For some odd reason, I know what the seats feel like, but I've never stepped a foot on one yet. It's crazy. But we got to feel it. We got to experience it before we actually experience it. So for me, I was sitting back. I was on the Gulfstream G700 just flying just then. I was feeling good. Turbulence was light, but it was quick because we was moving so fast. And I had a big smile on my face until the kids came running in the galley saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." Yeah. And I was no longer on a plane. I realized I was just in my living room. All right, y'all. So we ain't going to take too much time tonight. I'm excited about tonight. I really am. We talked about, why we have this event. We went through the vision board. Now it's time to get into some content. The last time we were here at Downtown Social, this month we've been dealing with finances, and the topic has been profit and loss, balance in the books. And last week we talked about gains, we talked about losses, and then we talked about quarterly plans moving forward, and we tied that in with business and also life. This week, I'm excited to have a part two, and we have someone from the finance industry that's going to be able to help me out with this as well, right? So I'm excited about that. So I got to tell y'all, I was on the phone the other day, and shout out to Exquisite Hair too. I forgot about that. My apologies. I was on the phone the other day, and I got to meet this lovely voice on the phone. And it's not all the time that I hear energy as high as mine when I make a phone call, right? But I did. So y'all, I want y'all to do me a favor and help me welcome to the stage the one and only from WGNS Radio, the one and only Sonja G. Y'all give her a hand as she come up. Yeah. Come on up here. Yeah. I can't dance for real.
Yeah.
And cut. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Miss Sonja, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. And you have a heart of gold.
Okay.
You have a heart of gold. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go ahead and tell on you. I was talking to you the other day, and you told me about a recent trip where you got to take family out.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tell me a little bit about that real quick before we jump into anything.
Well, I do believe that a lot of times we forget to have fun. And I love having fun, and I love making memories. Yeah. Because when we get to the end of our lives, we're not gonna have anything but memories. You got to think when you there, you know, can't move. You done got old, you can't go. And I wanted to create memories, so my husband and I took all of our children, all of his children and grandchildren, all of my children and grandchildren on a 5-day, 4-night cruise to the Bahamas. Woo. So there were 17 of us.
Woo. That's nice.
Oh, it was nice.
What was your funnest or most memorable experience out of all of that?
Oh, the most memorable experience was when the little ones, all the little ones, because we had 3 3-year-olds, and so we had a total of 9 kids.
Okay.
So, but the 3 3-year-olds sitting there talking to each other. And one said, do you like, they were eating popcorn, do you like the popcorn crumbs? And she said, yeah, I like popcorn crumbs. Well, good, you my best friend. And I thought, you know, so many times we got so much stipulations on stuff and on life and stuff. And so looking at life through children's eyes, it gives you a boost.
Yeah, no, I like that. I believe it does too. That reminds me, like sometimes when I'm not in super playful mode, and my youngest Reagan, she's like, Daddy, I want to play. And I'm like, I don't feel like playing right now. But she's consistent, persistent, and I end up playing with it. But shortly after I start playing with it, I realize I'm already smiling. Yeah. And it's like, wow, it's like every time, it never fails.
Well, that just goes along with what I teach on a regular. If we start looking at our lives as half full instead of half empty, regardless of what you're doing and what you're going through, it's all about your perspective. I tell people all the time, you got to speak things into existence. And if you know how powerful your words are, you'll start watching your mouth. Oh. You know how when I was young, you know, watch your mouth. But that's so true, because a lot of times we wake up in the morning.
Yes. And
before we get out of the bed, we say, I don't feel good. And you wonder why you don't feel good all day. It's because you've already put that in the atmosphere.
Wow. I just had that conversation this morning with my daughter. She woke up crying because she said she didn't get enough sleep.
Oh.
I wish we could do that as adults. I'm telling you, I would wake up crying every morning.
See?
But I told her that it's setting the tone for her day. And I realized shortly after that she just started eating her cereal and she perked up and got better. One more question, then we can actually get into this. But this was good already. How did it make you or you and your husband feel just setting that trip up and taking these people on this trip?
Well, first of all, shout out to MSC. I got to give them, because we ended up spending almost nothing.
Wow.
For all 17 of us. It was around $6,100.
Wow.
And I tell people also that it's about your priorities, what you want to do. Sometimes, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that, but you're wearing red bottoms, but you're doing this, but you're doing that. So it's about what you're going to invest in. Yeah. And so we chose to invest in our children, in our babies.
Wow.
And it made us feel really, really good. Because we're a blended family. And that was the first time that all of our children had been together.
Wow.
You know, and to see them gel so good, it was just a blessing.
I love that. I really do. And that's a good segue into this next part of what we're about to get into. There was some groundwork that you had to lay before you could do things like this and trips.
True.
And so like, I want everybody that's listening and watching live online that we all want to do nice things for people that are important to us. But before we're able to do those things confidently and comfortably, there's some trenches that we got to get in. So I want to get into that. Yeah. So I want to get us started with Miss Sonja. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do? Can we start there?
Okay. What do I do? Well, I am the proud owner of Authentic Tax Services. Authentic, the real tax place. Let me just put that out there. And this was my 20th year in business. So my main business is doing taxes and bookkeeping and putting others into the tax business. Knowing them. So side note, make sure when you have a vision that you don't get it twisted and think that you are in a competition with somebody else. Because what God got for you is for you.
Ooh, that's good.
And so that's why I love putting other people in the tax business.
Wow.
I was telling you, you know, 2 of them is doing way better than me, but that makes me proud.
Yes.
You know, so I do taxes for a living, but I teach and mentor because I'm called.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Everybody needs taxes done. If y'all hadn't did your taxes, this was one of the 3 main dates get them complete, right? I think
that's right for the businesses.
Yeah, for the businesses, the LLCs, including me. If y'all got any straggling taxes that we ain't filed yet, let's go ahead and get those filed. All right.
They're supposed to be in by midnight tonight.
So, no pressure, y'all. None at all. No pressure. File for an extension. People can file for extensions, right?
Not today.
Okay, not today. So it is what it is. If not, you got to wait the next year. All right. So, hey, just call it a loss. All right. Just call it a loss. You should be good. Okay. Hopefully. I am not a legal expert, so do not take that advice from me. All right. So, but so you're in the tax services. That's one of the main reasons we got you. You also have some books, right?
I do. I do. I am an author. My favorite book of mine, I have 3 books out, but my favorite is my first book.
Okay.
And my first book is From Prison to Praise, which is my life story of being an overcomer.
Okay.
And I believe that God allows me to go through so much so that I can get rid of everybody's excuse that I'm mentored. I done been through it all, so you can't tell me, but I was molested, so was I. You know, I've been on drugs, so was I. So in my book on Amazon, I'm also an international sex traffic rescue person.
Wow.
So I donate the funds for From Prison to Praise on Amazon to Grace International.
Wow.
To help rescue young ladies. But my book, as an overcomer, grew up, I was molested by my uncle, tried to get away from the molestation and got married at 16. And unbeknownst to me, married a pedophile. And he impregnated my 13-year-old babysitter, and the baby was born on my birthday.
Wow.
So at that point, I thought God hated me, okay? So, I was a pre-law student with a 3.95 grade point average. But when I didn't want to be with him anymore because I had married into money, they took my kid from me because I didn't want to stay in the marriage.
Wow.
And when they did that, I fell to pieces. And I met up with the wrong friends because when I was in high school, Black people didn't want to be around me because I was a nerd. White people didn't want to be around me because I was Black. So I didn't fit in. So now part of my quest is to teach people that you don't have to fit in. My mom taught me that I wasn't born to fit in. I was born to stand out. And so when we stopped trying to put those round pegs in those square holes and just live the life that God has purposed for you, that's when you live that abundant life. But and so I ended up smoking crack for 14 years. As of August the 8th, I've been off of crack 27 years.
Wow. Yeah, I think we can give you a clap for that.
So, but what was really great was while I was on crack, I used to represent myself in court all the time. So you can pull up the YouTube video with District Attorney John Price. At the time, he said, Sonja, I didn't even like black people before I met you. And I was like, well, I didn't like you because you kept on trying to put me in jail. But what happened was he didn't do his research on who I really was. All he saw was this crackhead who used to go to jail all the time. Even though I'm sitting there telling him all the time, I go to jail when I want to go to jail. I go to jail when I need some rest because I don't want to die in these streets, you know. And I would represent myself, and I would beat him sometimes. And he was supposed to be the best in Rutherford County. And so I intrigued him. And that's the other thing that I want to tell people. You got to find your niche because all of us got one. And you got to find what it is about you that make you different. It's a reason why all of us have different fingerprints. It's a reason why. None of us, because that is your indicator that you are special too.
Wow.
And so I intrigued him so much that he said, if you ever straighten up, I'm going to give you a job. And he was a man of his word. And on the one and only real interview that we did together, he tells a story that I called him from prison. I don't even remember. But he says, I called him from prison and told him, you said you was going to give me a job. And when I get out, I ain't smoking crack no more. You going to give me a job. And we started doing ministry first.
Wow.
And then he hired me as a paralegal.
Wow. You gave, listen, it was so good. It was so many places where I wanted to stop you, but it was just flowing freely. And I was like, I can't stop this. There's one call out that I just want to make subject to everybody, even the people that are streaming. You may feel like your God or your universe or whatever it is that you believe in hates you. You may feel like the world isn't forming to the way that you believe it's supposed to form to you. But it's true. We're hearing it here. We're hearing it right now, that those things that are testing you, that are making you feel like this is not working for me, are actually here to work for you. It
really is. And sometimes, you know, all of us have those moments. We get up and we on top of the world by noon, and the world on top of us. It's going to happen. Life just happens. Life be lifing. But when you look at it in its totality, I look at even where I am now today, and we have to remain open to grow, and not to be so angry. Being angry and fear will stifle you.
Wow.
So I ain't afraid of nothing. And I don't get mad about nothing. I give myself 10, 15 minutes to be mad. That's it. That's all you get.
Wow.
But so once I straightened up and I was being a paralegal, well, I wanted to go into business because nobody would hire me because I was a 31-time felon. And so I went to go open up the tax office because I had finally gotten a job working for a finance company, and they made me learn how to do taxes.
Wow.
And I was so thankful for that because I'm a giver by nature. And so to do people taxes and get them back the most money and give them money, you know, it did something for me and it did something for them. And so when I tried to open up, they laughed at me at the IRS office because of my fingerprints. So I try to tell the young people it's easy to get into trouble, but it's hard to get out of. So it's better to just avoid it.
Yeah.
However, I'm thankful because I was the paralegal for the DA. And so he wrote a letter vouching for my integrity. And so now I've been open 20 years, and I owe him for that. The same one that sent me to prison is the reason why. So that's why, too, we can't snub our noses up at people. You don't never know how God is going to use them or whoever you call it, your universe, your higher power, you know, whatever, to use that person to catapult you into the man or woman of God that you was already called and ordained to be.
That make me think why sometimes, true statement here, sometimes I like to walk out the house looking like a bum.
Yes. Me too.
I love it because they'll form this perspective of you that there's no value in that person whatsoever. And a lot of the times that's where most of the value is hidden. Because I found out that a lot of people, and I like to dress up sometimes when I feel like I need to. Thank you, Derek. But a lot of people who dress or cover themselves in things and garments are really hiding a lot of stuff sometimes. Yes. And I always like to tell my kids, they say, Daddy, don't go out the house looking like that. And I'm like, look, nobody's paying my bills. Number one, right. Nobody's paying your bills when you're thinking about what you're wearing out the house. But number two, I know what value I have inside. And it's about what we have inside, not what's outside.
I don't even think that's it. But also too, as far as dressing up, not dressing up, I'm gonna give you an analogy too that happened with me. My girlfriend is into Gucci and gold.
Okay.
Gucci
and gold.
I love her, but she's gonna have, and she used to fuss at me because I didn't have a real pocketbook. I'm like, the one I carry is real, I didn't pay but $8 for it, but it's real, because a lot of times we get so materialistic that we miss the mark. And so, and my dream car has always been that Mercedes, metallic blue Mercedes, right? And so they were trying to make me buy one a long time ago. You need to buy one. Why is you own your business and you drive around in this car? I said, I'm gonna drive till the wheels fall off of it. It doesn't matter to me, and because I'd rather be a giver.
Okay, yeah.
I give things out. But then it's the timing. So now I'm driving my dream car. But my husband bought it for me as a gift. Wow. I didn't have to buy it.
Come on. Don't say that too loud. But I hear you.
So sometimes we need to make sure that we're in the right season. And that we don't miss our exit.
Oh, hold on. Time out. So you telling me sometimes we need to wait before we take the move, even though we can take that move.
That's right.
That's good. Some people try to land too prematurely or take out too prematurely, and they don't know what could come behind that.
That's right.
So just hold on until it's actually right.
What happens when a pregnant woman have a baby too early?
It's premature.
It's premature. And when that baby is premature, it comes with all kinds of defects. It may even pass. And so sometimes it's great. I am a Habakkuk chapter 2 verses 2 through 4 girl. Write the vision, make it plain. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall speak and not lie, it shall come to pass. I'm all about that. But even when I'm thinking about the car that I'm driving today, just got it in August. But it was on the picture of it, which I can show it to you, was on my vision board in 2022.
Come on now, help me out. Because you don't know what's on my vision board at the house. that plane on my vision board now.
But it's a season. It's a time and a season for everything. So you got to learn how to navigate your way through.
Wow, that's big. That's huge. Because I look online. When we had to fly last week, I was like, let me just check and see how much a charter costs. Let me just run in the sea. And every time it's like, yeah, that's definitely gonna break the bank. And if I was to make a move like that, like what for what, right? Even though it could happen. Why do it if it's only just sparing for that one time? I tell my son that with football, because they have NIL out with high school and college now. So I tell him, if people want to buy something for you, if they want to find a way to get you to a school, you tell them to get you assets, right? Something that's going to generate you money. And then what you wanted to buy initially, you buy off the profit of that asset. I'm glad we talking good now. Look,
I want to say this while it's on my mind. It's all about a balance too. You have to have a balance in business, a balance in your personal life, so that you'll know, as Kenny Rogers said, when to hold them and when to fold them.
Come on.
And because you can mess things up so much. And I have a little motto. I live by these mottos that done came up. And one of them is, you sacrifice on the front end so you can live better longer in the back. You know, sometimes we have to make sacrifices now. We gotta put in the hard work. I worked a lot harder in my business the first 2 or 3 years. But I had to put that time in. I couldn't hire everybody, you know, at the time.
Trust me, I know.
So you know, it's a season for everything. But then sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, and you'll mess up something that was supposed to sustain you for years and years to come.
Ooh, so look, that made me think perfect time and investment. We started a company in 2016 in real estate and investing in real estate. And even to this day, I've never taken a paycheck from any deal, neither me or my business partner. But I can only imagine how much we would have depleted if we were paying ourselves out since 2016. But now business is just easy. It's literally easy. It's just, hey, what's the next opportunity? Okay, what do we need? All right, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Keep it moving. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we wanted to receive benefits early on. I want to stop there to say, anybody that's listening, you may want to start a business. You may already have a business, and it may be making money, but that does not mean you need to get paid, right? Reinvest that money back into the company, which we'll get into that in a minute. But the segue of this conversation is balance in the books. And you introduced the first part. Give me your note card and let me ask the questions. But with balance, let's talk about that for a minute. You had to balance a lot. On a business side and a personal side. On the business side, you had to balance opening a business. You said you had 31 felons attached, and balancing those two and still being mentally strong enough to open that business and stay consistent with it is unmatched when I think of focus.
But you already said it. You have to see it. You got to see something to believe it. And I saw success. And I also saw that what I really love to do is things like this. I love going to Africa and teaching over there. I love mentoring the people. I love my radio show. I love doing all of that. And so I said, what can I do that's going to allow me to do that fully without me having to worry about a light bill or a water bill or whatever? So tax season is only for a season. So when I said tax season, oh yeah, that's what I need to do.
Wow.
Because I can do taxes, be a blessing to people. And my office is just not for my clients. We pray every morning. And there's a prayer that we pray for financial blessings and breakthroughs and rebates and checks in the mail with our names on them. And debt supernaturally canceled out with other folk money, stamping it with the word that says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. And so people come just for prayer. So sometimes we have to make sure that we're in our element and that we're doing everything and that we're not being selfish. It's a difference between self-care and selfishness. Wow.
It is a big difference.
Big difference.
You brought us to the first segue. You said something that I admired just then. You know what you said? You said, don't pay attention to what you would see with your eyes. Focus on your vision instead. What I want to do, y'all know I got to do this. So I just need about 45 seconds. Me and you, we're going to go out in the audience, right? And we're going to get to talk to some people for about 45 seconds. I want everybody to think about what that you see visually that you feel like is keeping you from what you see from a mental standpoint in your vision, right? If I want to open up a restaurant, but I see that I only got $2 in my bank account and I don't know how to cook, what is stronger, what I'm seeing with my natural eyes or my vision?
Wait a minute. That might not be your vision. You saw somebody else doing it and being successful. That's what people do too. Ooh. You saw somebody else doing it and you see that they're successful. Oh, I can do it too.
Wow.
But if that's not what you're called to do, you don't need to do it. It's gonna hurt you. If you have a vision, something should line up with it. Now, come on. It's okay for you not to have any money and have a vision because there's all sorts of things that you can do. There's startup grants, SBA. There's a lot of things that you can do in regards to that, or you can do crowdfunding. You know, people to give to you, scrape up with the family. But your vision game has to be tight.
Ooh, I like that, y'all. So listen, don't chase nobody else's dream, and it needs to align with your life. You need to be passionate about it.
You have to be passionate.
I love it.
If you're not passionate, how can I get you on board if I'm not passionate about it?
Right. That's like
if I'm not passionate about it, how can I make you passionate about it?
It's not possible.
I'm wasting my time and wasting
mine.
yours.
Yes. You're 100% right.
Passionate.
I like that. So let me change the scale a little bit. If you are passionate about a restaurant and you got that vision, I want you to think about the obstacles that you can see with your eyes that you feel like are blocking you. And then I want you to, if you're streaming, share it, write it down on your paper. If you're not streaming and you're here, or if you're with somebody and you're streaming, I want you to take these 45 seconds, talk to them about what you see visually and what you see from a vision perspective, and how can you focus on the vision instead of what you see visually. We're going to take about 45 seconds and go ahead and talk to the people. Y'all can mute my mic back there until we come back in. I want Matt.
What vision you have?
I am like restaurant.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Really?
Oh, man. I needed this today. Wow, me too.
So do you cook, or what part of the restaurant do you like?
For me, man.
So what are you gonna do to get that?
Monday. Let me just stick to that.
Good position.
Let me use my business.
Well, the first thing that you got to do is write it down. You got to write
We're
the
not
vision
doing
and
as
make
good
it
as we
plain.
need to ourselves.
You need to be looking at it every day.
We can sell like
subscriptions
and services and stuff like
write
that.
It down.
And
you write it down.
I'm always thinking about the knowledge of the team versus the goals we need to get to.
Okay.
And I guess after listening to this,
vision?
for me,
What vision do you have?
The vision of balancing the books and the business is going to be
every weekend.
I need to start creating clear goals.
Steps to do that, different marketing.
How the team is going to get to small SP100, Salesforce 100 opportunities instead of thinking they don't know how to sell or they don't know how to speak to the people the right way. So that's probably that's where I need to shift my focus to. So I'm not thinking about the vision. Yeah.
And just keep it positive. Because positivity draws.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one of my prayers too that I pray at the office, I say, God, send me clients from the north, south, east, and the west. And I've had people show up and say, I don't know why I came, but and me and my staff just laugh because we summoned you here, And so our voice is powerful. Yeah. I gotta be somewhere at 7:30.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot my pastor just texted me. I'm
Let
okay
me
though.
see how I can. All right, I'm gonna run you through. All right, y'all. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out. We got some good content so far. One of those first things that I gathered from you is this: even in business and life, regardless of what the finances says, your current circumstances does not define your projection. Your mindset and attitude does. That's what I got from that first piece.
That's
right. The second piece with balancing the books is how we actually get to that point, and that's not focusing on what we see with our eyes from a tangible perspective, but what our vision says and how much we actually believe in that vision. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you've been a part of Motivation Monday from day one with these answers. I really do love them. I want to see if we can cap this off with one question.
Okay.
And whatever we get from you, that's what I'm going to take. We talked about balancing the books and concept and that with life too. Y'all, whatever you came up with, whatever you need to do, that last exercise was to help you get closer to focusing on actionable steps for the vision and not that of what you see with your regular eyes, right, your normal eyes, right? So that's what that last exercise was. How do you invest in your business and in yourself? And how has that helped you grow throughout the last 20 years?
I invest in my business by learning, always being teachable. There's always something else that we can learn. We can always be better. And if you are the brightest bulb in the room, you need to go to a different room so that you can go even further. So you said, how did I invest in myself?
And in business?
In business. So I invest in the business by continuing to learn and educate myself on all the tax breaks and the tax laws and all the changes and implementing new ways to bring other people in to start their own tax business, that sort of thing. How do I take care of myself? What do I do for myself? Is that what you said?
Yeah, invest in self and business.
Investing in self. In actuality, I'm not that good at investing in self. I'm getting better.
Okay.
I'm not the typical woman. It takes too long for them to do my hair. That's why I wear it in braids. Ain't got to get it done. Take too long for them to do my nails and stuff. So I'm not really that girly like that. But I find something that I enjoy, and I do that. Wow. I love going and just sitting in the salt caves.
Okay.
So I go to the salt caves. I walk. And I spend a lot of times in the streets because that makes me happy. You got to find your happy place. So me pouring into other people, it actually helps me in return.
I love that.
So I do as much of that as I can.
Okay. Listen, y'all, we just got some nuggets there. I was in Hawaii last weekend. I get frustrated too. So it was a time where I got frustrated on the trip. Who gets frustrated in Hawaii? Only Jeremy Tutt. Well, Sonja G too.
Yeah, I didn't like Hawaii.
We both been there. She doesn't like Hawaii. We ain't gonna talk about that today. But while I was there, you know what made me feel better? I was walking to the car to get my waters that I purchased at Walmart, and I saw homeless people on my way, and something said, take these waters, hand them out to these people and talk to them. Yeah. And immediately after I finished, I felt better. Yeah. That was a self-investment, right? An investment is something that we put into ourselves, an idea or a business, and it makes that idea, business, or ourselves come out a better person. Right. And for business, y'all, if you have a business and you're trying to figure out how can I invest in my business to make it better? Well, we just heard it best from the one and only Sonja G. She just said, educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
You had to educate yourself in so many different forms and fashions of that business. And y'all, we got to think about what education does. It gives us that knowledge platform where we can be a resourceful person.
And that's what you want. And also, even in the marketing aspect, I forgot to tell y'all what I love doing on the side. You're going to think I'm crazy.
Come on.
I love driving Uber.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I do when I drive Uber? I have these scan cards that my kids made me. And then when people come in, I'll say, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And they just do the little QR code, and then I talk to them. And then I had a young lady just today who I had dropped them off at a facility. And she called and told me, because I gave her my number, she called and said, I'm out, but I'm really having a hard time. Can you pray with me today?
Wow.
So, you know, every person that you meet is an opportunity for something. Either an opportunity for you to pour into them or for them to pour into you.
Perspective, y'all. Perspective. Because I, too, here recently started Ubering in the name of promoting Motivation Monday. Yeah. And I got these cards that every rider in Murfreesboro, and if I'm in Smyrna, I hand them out to these people.
That's what I do.
But let me tell you this. I met a lady, and one day we will see her on Motivation Monday through Uber, who had 150 surgeries. Wow. Yes, and she was, listen, we can set that up. But this lady, without a doubt, was one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life, and she was the same age as I.
Wow.
I would have never met this lady who lives in this city had I was not been out driving.
You never know.
Right? And so it is not like people, yeah, you can go out and you can make money with it, but even more than that, you can make super rich connections.
Yeah.
Look, Miss Sonja, we at time. What else do you have to close us out here tonight for anybody streaming, anybody in the audience?
I did. I wrote down a few things.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how I'm going to get you motivated, number one, and to help you business-wise and personal.
Okay.
The first thing I want you to do is start with self-belief. You got to believe in yourself. Nobody else can believe in you until you start believing in you. Then you got to set you some clear goals and embrace challenges. Don't be afraid. You're going to fail. Do you know how many times he had to do the light bulb before the light bulb started working?
Over 1,000.
I think the Michael Jordan got thrown off of the basketball team. And, you know, so don't be afraid of challenges. And you have to be consistent. Consistently marketing, consistently learning, consistently sharing your story or your business with people, and learn from your failure. Wow. That's a big one, because we got to stop failing and just lay there, just wallow in it. Get up, dust yourself off, and surround yourself with positivity, and always show gratitude.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to say.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got it here today. Y'all got it live here at Motivation Monday. We solicit questions. If y'all want to send them in, we'll always take them. Does anybody have any questions in the audience before we close out of here? We got to get Miss Sonja to her next event. Listen, Miss Sonja, thank you so much for the time today. Thank you for the knowledge you dropped. And once again, y'all give it up for the one and only Miss Sonja G. Listen, if you're streaming, thank y'all for tuning in today for the 9th episode of Motivation Monday. We'll be on 10 next week. Peace out. Yeah.